Hello everyone, welcome back. We'll continue with the concepts related to reactor physics. Today I'll be discussing about multiplication factor and an important formula to define this multiplication factor called as four-factor formula. As we all know, nuclear reactor is a device in which a self-sustained nuclear chain reaction takes place in a controlled manner. The important parameter that determines this self-sustained process is called multiplication factor, and generally in physics we denote it by K. And this is how you can define the multiplication factor. Considering the fission of uranium takes place by thermal neutrons, if this small n number of neutrons are absorbed by uranium-235 to produce fission, then the fission generates new number of fresh neutrons, say, then total number of fresh neutrons generated will be equal to the product of n and nu. And all these n new neutrons will be fast neutrons and they cannot produce further fission in uranium-235. Therefore, these number of neutrons are to be thermalized. That means their energies should be brought down to thermal energy. And out of this nu number of neutrons, if n neutrons are available for production of fission in the next generation, then multiplication factor is defined as the ratio of capital N to small n. That means K will be equal to capital N. That is the number of neutrons available for production of fission in the next generation to the number of neutrons, that is small n, number of neutrons that produced fission in the previous generation. So this ratio gives multiplication factor. And this value of K is very important in deciding the nature of the chain reaction. If K is equal to 1, then self-sustained chain reaction propagates at a constant rate. This is the underlying principle of all nuclear reactors. If K is greater than 1, then the fission rate increases from one generation to another generation, and this is in fact the principle of the atom bombs, where there will be huge accumulation of energy within no time, and as a result there will be an explosion. If K is less than 1, from one generation to the other generation, next generation, you will see that the rate will decrease and fission will stop ultimately. In order to shut down the reactor, we use this principle. That is why this K plays a prominent role in the operation of a reactor. We'll see the factors which determine the value of K. Suppose, say we have an assembly of uranium-238, that is called as natural uranium, and uranium-235. In an assembly, there will be 99.3% of uranium-238 and 0.7% of uranium-235. This is called as fissile material because we expect the neutron to interact with this uranium, that is thermal neutron to interact with this uranium-235 to cause fission. There will be so many other things like moderators, control rods, cladding materials, etc. in addition to this assembly. For an assembly of this kind, then we can expect the following reactions. The neutron, before slowing down, will be having fast neutrons generally. These fast neutrons, before slowing down, may be absorbed by uranium-238 to cause fission. This is called as fast fission reaction. Uranium-238, if it is bombarded with fast neutrons of certain energy or called as threshold energy, then this uranium-238 will undergo fission. This is called as fast fission reaction. Therefore, before this neutron getting slowed down to thermal energy, it may interact with uranium-238 and may cause fast fission reaction. This is one probable process. And the second process that we can expect is this neutron, while slowing down, may be absorbed by uranium-238 to cause non-fission reaction. That means This is N-gamma process. We call it as N-gamma reaction. It is also called as radiative capture. That means this uranium-238 absorbs neutron and it will be excited to the excited state. That means it will form a compound nucleus, that is uranium-239. It is an isotope of uranium, and it will come down to ground state by emitting gamma photon. This is actually called as radiative capture. That means this is called as N-gamma process. Incident particle will be neutron and the emitted particle will be gamma photon. This is another process that we can expect. And the third mechanism is the neutron may be absorbed by uranium-235 to cause non-fission reaction. This is very similar to the previous one, but in this case the absorber is uranium-235 instead of uranium-238. That means neutron is absorbed by uranium-235, but it will go to the excited state and it will come back to ground state by emitting gamma photon. No fission takes place even in this process. The neutron may absorb by uranium-235 to cause fission. This happens only after this neutron is slowed down to thermal energies. And the fifth mechanism that we expect is the neutron may be absorbed by other materials, because in addition to fuel and the neutrons, we have so many other things in the reactor core. We will be having moderators, control rods, cladding materials, etc. These neutrons may be absorbed by any of these materials. They also cause non-fission reactions. And the last one is the neutron may simply escape without interacting with any of these materials. This is what is actually called as leakage. This happens if the reactor is of finite size. Among the 6 mechanisms that we discussed, only the fourth one generates fresh neutrons. That is, the neutron absorbed by uranium-235, that is the thermal neutrons absorbed by uranium-235 may cause fission to generate fresh neutrons, even though a small contribution comes from this process. That means when a fast neutron whose energy greater than threshold energy, if it interacts with uranium-238, then also there will be some fresh neutrons. But that probability is small, so we can ignore that probability always. And the other 4 mechanisms that we discussed, they are non-productive. They do not produce any fresh neutrons. As I said, the last one, the neutrons escape probability, that is the leakage probability, that takes place in a finite reactor. If the reactor is of infinite size, then there will be no leakage. That means we can neglect this process. In that case, the multiplication factor K is represented by K infinity, and we call it as infinite multiplication factor. Now, if we consider the absorption of n thermal neutrons by uranium-235 to produce fission, then say it produces new fast neutrons, fresh neutrons, and the total number of fast neutrons that will be available now will be equal to the product of n into nu. N number of thermal neutrons are incident on uranium-235, and there will be n fissions, and each fission produces new fresh neutrons. Therefore, total number of fast neutrons will be equal to the product of this, that is n into nu. But actually, the number of fast neutrons will be slightly greater than this because of the first mechanism that we discussed. Because uranium-238, some of the fast neutrons interacting with uranium-238 can also cause fission, and they slightly add up to this one. And if we consider that total number of fast neutrons produced due to fission of uranium-235 is increased by this factor, say epsilon, which is greater than 1, and this is due to the fission of uranium-238, then the total number of fast neutrons that is actually produced will be equal to nu into epsilon, and this epsilon is called as fast fission factor. This number of fast neutrons are available now, that is nu into epsilon. These neutrons, fast neutrons, actually should be brought down to thermal energies to cause further fission in uranium-235. But in the process of decreasing their energies, there is a finite probability that at particular energy there could be N gamma process. That means there will be resonance capture mechanism. The name itself says it is resonance capture. That means at a particular value of energy, when there is matching of energy, then you will see that those neutrons which are available now, fast neutrons, may interact with uranium-238 and they may be absorbed by the uranium-238, and that is called as, they are absorbed and they produce only gamma photons from it. This is called as resonance capture. Only those neutrons which escape from this resonance capture, they will be available for causing fission in uranium-235, or only those neutrons which escape this resonance capture, they reach thermal energies. If we consider P as the resonance escape probability, then the number of neutrons that are slowed down to thermal energies will be equal to Nu epsilon into P. Among this number of neutrons, these are the thermal neutrons. They are reduced to thermal energies. Only few of them are absorbed. All of them will not be absorbed by uranium-235, because we have so many other materials also. Some cladding materials will be there, moderator will be there, and so many other things will be there. But only few of them will be absorbed by uranium-235. If we consider F as the fraction of the thermal neutrons that is absorbed by the fuel, that is uranium-235, then actually this F is called as thermal utilization factor. Then the total number of neutrons absorbed by the fuel, that is uranium-235, will be equal to Nu epsilon P into F. And all these neutrons, even though they are absorbed by the uranium-235, all the uranium-235 nuclei will not undergo fission, because some of them could be non-productive. That means they produce non-fission reaction. Now, if we assume G is the fraction of thermal neutrons absorbed in the fuel to produce fission, say only this amount of neutrons can cause fission, then the total number of thermal neutrons available for producing fission in the second generation due to n number of neutrons in the first generation will be equal to capital N. That can be, these are the number of neutrons available in the second generation, that can be written as Nu epsilon PFG, and this N is the number of neutrons that was available in the first generation. Then now we can write multiplication factor K infinity. This is an infinite multiplication factor in an infinite size reactor. It will be equal to capital N divided by small n. And if you divide this by small n, N will cancel, and just by grouping this nu into G, this nu G is represented by eta. This gives the number of fast neutrons produced for each thermal neutrons absorbed in the fuel. Then K infinity will be equal to eta, epsilon, P and F. These are the four factors which determines the value of K. Hence the formula is called as 4-factor formula, and this is valid for an infinite reactor, but for a reactor of finite size, the correction to be added. And avoiding leakage, in fact you can see that this K will be equal to K infinity. As this K is very important in a reactor operation, as I have said in the beginning, if K is equal to 1, you will see that there will be self-sustained chain reaction. If K is less than 1, then the number of neutrons reduces from generation to generation, and eventually the reaction will stop. If K is greater than 1, it works like a bomb. This is about multiplication factor and 4-factor formula. Thanks for watching.